Welcome to another Solo Leveling Arise video. With the release of Hansemi, let's go over on what's the best artifact set that you can use for her best partner, and that is going to be AMAMIYA MIREI. So AMAMIYA MIREI is currently out right now, so if you need a copy of her, go ahead and go for it. She is worth it. So similar to the testing that we did with Sung Jinwoo, we're going to be doing the exact same thing for AMAMIYA MIREI, but instead of going one at a time, we're going to do all just full build straight on. We're not going to use expert because expert takes too long to stack up, and we know it's the best DPS. Other than that, everything else is good to go. The stats is going to be 9,427 attack with as much as high crit hit rate that I can get. So for this first testing, we can do about 36%. Everything else is 0, so they don't affect. MP wise, that's going to be around 1200, maybe lower than that, depending on, just to make it fair. So let's start with the toughness set and outstanding connection, and let's see the damage that it can do. Before we start attacking this bear for the damage testing, I want this test to be similar in every cases. So we're gonna start with Soju. We are then gonna QTE with AMAMIYA, who then is gonna ult, use her skill 1. Let's do a couple basic attack until we get our core damage, and then we're gonna skill 2. That way, we're going to figure out how much damage she really is doing. And with the power of editing, I'm going to have the total number for that entire rotation. So one simple rotation is going to be the test for AMAMIYA. If it crits, then so be it. If it doesn't crit, then we're just going to have to, deal with that also. Because not all your hits are going to crit anyway. So it's just going to be an average. I might do 1 or 2 rotation just to get more accurate number, maybe more if the difference is huge. So with that, let's get on to the numbers.
까마귀의 시간 뇌전 진상 빈틈투성이네요. 반격할 거예요. 빈틈투성이네요. 까마귀의 춤 그림자 플레이츠 까마귀의 시간 밤의 날 반격할 거예요. 까마귀의 춤 우레 까마귀
And with that, here are all the numbers from all 4 testings. So the bear has a total HP of 13,600,000. So we can use that to calculate the percent damage that we do. That makes it a lot easier for us to compare the damage of all of the tests we're going to do today. So starting with the first test, which is actually the most interesting one to me because it's the most inconsistent one. Because the S1 did about normal damage at 11%. The S2 missed, only doing 262,000 damage, which is the lowest damage that we have for S2 in all 4 testings. The ult for all 4 testing never crit for me, which is about 198,412 at almost 1.45%. I forgot to use the core in test 1, so my bad for that. And then QTE is going to be interesting because if it doesn't crit, it does about 1%. If it crits, it does about almost double it at 2.46%. Or triples it. So yeah, that's the interesting part for all the testing. So in test 3 S1, the attack did not crit all the way, which is why it's in the lowest damage at 969,000, while everything else is around the 1.8 to over 1.6 million mark. And then for skill 2 is similar damage because they have the exact same percentage. So in total, the lowest percent that I did with all attacks is test 3 at 22.42%, while the highest is at test 4 at almost 30%. So let's just keep track on the lowest and the highest when we compare them to everything else. So for the highest for toughness plus outstanding ability, it's 29.62%. And with that, let's move on to our next testing, which is armed and outstanding ability.
까마귀의 시간 밤의 날 다른 뵐 것은 어디 있을까요? 물의 까마귀 반격할 거예요. 빈틈투성이네요. 까마귀의 춤 그림자 화이트 까마귀의 시간 밤의 날 반격할 거예요. 까마귀의 춤 물의 까마귀 그림자 화이트 밤의 날에 까마귀의 시간 반격할 거예요. 빈틈투성이네요. 짜릿하죠? 흑야 낭만 프로아시가 주야 화이트 까마귀의 시간 밤의 날 빈틈투성이네요. 반격할 거예요. 까마귀의 춤 흑야 낭만
Another disappointing showcase from the arm set. This set, I think, is just something that I might stop using as a 4-piece set because the number is just always so low. Like if you look at test 2, everything is in the blue, and the number for test 2 is lower than the lowest number for the toughness set. And the toughness set, if you don't crit with it, it doesn't help you much. While this one, at least you get something if you don't crit. But it's just so low compared to toughness that it's not worth it to run. So with that, let's move on to the upgraded version of the arm set, which is Warmonger plus outstanding ability.
그림자 화이트 따뜻해질 시간이에요. 까마귀의 춤 방심하셨군요. 까마귀의 시간 내전 진상 반격할 거예요. 까마귀의 춤 물의 까마귀 닌자 화이트 방심하셨군요. 까마귀의 춤 까마귀의 시간 밤의 날 빈틈투성이네요. 까마귀의 춤 흑야 낭만 닌자 화이트 따뜻해질 시간이에요. 방심하셨군요. 따끔하죠? 까마귀의 시간 밤의 날 빈틈투성이네요. 반격할 거예요. 짜릿하죠? 빈틈투성이네요. 흑야 낭만 프로아시가 조심하래요. 화이트 방심하셨군요. 시간이에요. 까마귀의 춤. 까마귀의 시간. 뇌전 진상. 반격할 거예요. 까마귀의 춤. 빈틈투성이네요. 흑야 낭만. 프로의
Now, the Warmonger set just blows armed out of the water. It's not even close. The lowest for armed is 600,000 less than the lowest for Warmonger. It's similar to toughness too, but you know, when toughness doesn't crit, of course it's gonna be low. But the highest for Warmonger is still less than toughness. I think that has to do with toughness increasing crit hit rate and all of AMAMIYA's skill having a lot of hits. You just generate more crits and you just generate more damage because you're just critting more with toughness. But it's still a good showcase. If you look at the ult damage, I did about 198,000 without crits with toughness and about 245,000. So I'm definitely doing more damage when I don't crit. Except when it does crit, I think the extra bonus from toughness just amplifies the damage more, especially with the skill hit. So as of right now, surprisingly, toughness is still on top. So with that, let's move on to the mixed set of a 2-piece curse, 2-piece armed, and then that 4-piece set of outstanding ability.
그림자 화이트. 까마귀의 시간. 밤의 날. 반격할 거예요. 까마귀의 춤. 빈틈투성이네요. 그림자 화이트. 까마귀의 시간. 뇌전 진상. 빈틈투성이네요. 반격할 거예요. 짜릿하죠? 빈틈투성이네요. 그림자 화이트. 까마귀의 시간. 뇌전 진상. 반격할 거예요. 빈틈투성이네요. 반격할 거예요. 짜릿하죠? 빈틈투성이네요. 프로아 씨가 조심하래요. 화이트. 까마귀의 시간. 빈틈투성이네요. 반격할 거예요. 짜릿하죠? 빈틈투성이네요. 우레 까마귀. 프로아 씨가 조심하래요.
So the mix set has some interesting results, in my opinion. So test 1 to test 3 are tested as soon as the fight starts. So that will be from like stack 1 to however long it takes to finish the rotation. Test 4 is tested with a full 100 stacks. And surprisingly, the highest number that I got from starting off with just stack 1 is only 300 less than when it's fully stacked. That has to do with the crits 100%. Because if you look at skill 2, it only did 1.1 million. Which means a lot of those hits from that skill did not crit. While if you look at test 2, the highest number is 1.4 million. So very interesting testing that it don't really matter how much stack you have. If you don't crit, and even though AMAMIYA has a lot of crit hit rate built in, you might still not crit because the enemy have a crit hit resistant that we've noticed. So just very interesting finding that even though test 4 is majority on the red, because that one skill did not crit, it barely beats the highest when it's not fully stacked. It's still lower than toughness, that's for sure. So with that, let's move on to the final piece that I'm testing, and that is the full curse.
그림자 스위치. 까마귀의 시간. 밤의 나라. 빈틈투성이네요. 반격할 거예요. 짜릿하죠? 빈틈투성이네요. 스위치. 까마귀의 시간. 뇌전 진상. 반격할 거예요. 빈틈투성이네요. 까마귀의 춤. 다음 전투가 기대돼요. 흑야 낭만. 스위치. 까마귀의 시간. 뇌전 진상. 우레 까마귀. 그림자 스위치. 까마귀의 시간. 밤의 나라. 반격할 거예요. 까마귀의 춤. 빈틈투성이네요. 우레 까마귀.
To be honest, I was very disappointed with this damage numbers that I got from a full curse set. So a 50% damage increase at test 4 actually did barely any increase from the previous testing of a 2-piece set. The skill 1 did less damage than a mix set. The mix set did 1.63 million. This one did 1.62. Skill 2 did more damage. Shoutouts. It did 1.3 instead of 1.1. The ult didn't crit, sadly, while it crit on the other one. But the core did. The core did 410 and the other one did 344. So just testing those two, there's an 80k difference. Is an 8-piece set worth the 80k difference from that testing? I don't think so. But the thing is, the reason why a full piece curse is going to be something that most people will be running. In this game, sololevelingarise, CP is king. The higher your CP is, the more damage that you do. That's just how it is. And an 8-piece set gives you the most CP. Now, we know Burning Curse is getting buffed. So the 4-piece set of Burning Curse, if that ends up being what the 8-piece is, and the 8-piece is just insane, this is the best set for her. It's currently the best set for her right now, and it's not because of the numbers. And it's just because they increase your CP. Let me show you guys what a fully toughness and outstanding connection CP is compared to what a fully built curse set CP is. And with that, here are the final numbers from all of the testing. I took the lowest and the highest, not counting those where I just forgot to use a skill. So the lowest damage we did was 3,008,002, which is a total of 21.97% of the bear's HP. While the highest is 4,055,425, which is 29% of the bear's HP. Sadly, we didn't hit the 30% mark with all of the testings we did. If we did expert at 40 stacks, we could have done that, but getting 40 stacks with these kind of testing is not ideal. You'll be hitting 40 stacks in long content for sure. So while I didn't do expert set, we know expert is the best right hand set. So it's toughness plus expert is going to be your best, highest DPS. But I did outstanding ability because it did consistent damage, and it's the highest you can get without having to stack. And stacking up expert in this testing is not ideal, even though we know it's the best one. Most disappointing one for damage wise is Burning Curse. Because the even playing field of CP not being that important for these testing, it just didn't do enough for me, even though we know it's probably the best one because of how much CP it gives. So if you want raw damage and you have the CP, toughness plus expert or outstanding ability is your best option. If you're free to play and you're in a red or you're in the white, full curse is your best option. Unless that 4-piece curse becomes amazing, and if it is, you might want to do toughness plus 4-piece curse. That works fine. You can do 2-piece toughness, you can do 2-piece curse plus expert. That works fine too. So yeah, that's the testing. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was longer than what I thought it was going to be. There was just a lot of numbers. And sorry about that. If you guys are still here, my name is Yuya. Please leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.